Alright, so Jacob here. What I've got this morning, and I'm going to zoom in on the camera here, on the guitar, because that'll be the best place to be. Alright, I've got binding in on the top side. I have not finished binding on the back side. I'm still working on the channels, but I need to do an end graft, and I've decided that I'm going to inlay this piece here on the end graft. Now the end graft is a decorative little piece that goes on the end of the guitar. It kind of shows you exactly where center is. And if I lift this up and show you, this is what the idea is going to be. I'm going to mark and then cut this area out very carefully. And then I'm going to glue this piece in. And then as I'm doing my binding on the back here, I will cut this portion off and be able to align the binding on that end. Now what I generally do is a wedge shape where this has a little bit of a triangular shape to it, and then before I get the binding on, and I can just kind of slide it in and then cut off the excess. I chose to do a little different method on this one, this particular go around, and I'm just going to cut and do this before I put the back binding on. You could do it afterwards. You could just mark and cut afterwards. You can do it before you get all the binding on. It's generally easier if you can do it before any of the binding is there, but I decided to do it this way. So that's where I am. Marking. You want to mark close to your number. I have my center line on the back that I'm looking at, and I have my center line up here. And I'm going to take a razor blade. I'm just going to mark along. Do that 3, 4, 5 times, however many you think is necessary. Look around the other side. Remember to keep your piece down, hold it in the center. Right. It's going to look off center from where I am because this is just a little bit to the one side, but that will get me in the ballpark. So there, I don't know if you can see now. I'm going to put some tape on both sides of that. Right up to my line. Nothing else, the camera is able to see that a little bit better, right? Okay. Now, we want to be careful not to cut into the binding that we have up here. We don't want to cut through the end. We only want to go deep enough to put our piece in. And I could actually take a plane and plane off a little bit of the back of this, and that would be fine too. If you don't have any binding on there, you can actually take a saw and cut to your line. And always come back and reestablish that line. Want that one popping off. Haven't gotten to it yet. Afraid I may be tearing out on this side. I hope not. Notice I'm coming in at an angle towards my line on each side, and then I remove the material in the middle. That's so that hopefully I can keep a real good clean line on the edge. I put the tape down to help me keep that. Once I glue in, if there's some fibers that have lifted, the glue will help keep those down. The other thing I'm concerned about is it doesn't feel like this is glued in the center here, so I know I'm a little bit off center, but no, I'm not. Got plenty of glue space there, so hopefully the ends will keep it in place and I won't have an issue. But the idea here is that I get a good flat space wide enough to place my inlay that's deep enough so that I can glue it in and not have it sitting too proud, because I don't want to have to remove a whole lot of material after I've inlaid it. So yeah, it's coming like this. Don't like that. So that broke out like I was telling you that I wouldn't like. Careful not to cut through into your end block. Don't cut any of your extra binding that's already in there. double check your fit. And so I know that I'm a little bit tight. So I can either remove from the guitar or I can remove from my inlay. Because the inlay is a little bit easier to move, I'm going to use that. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure these are good and straight. So, like I said, the inlay, I'm real tight. I'm going to remove some from each side. Flat surface. I'm using 80 grit sandpaper. I think this goes quickly. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. It's probably par for the course if you're watching my videos, right? Okay. Okay, that's really close. There we go, we're sitting in there. We're a little bit proud, so I'm going to get my block plane and I'm going to remove just a little from the back of my inlay strip here. Get some of these things out of the way so I don't have to be knocking them around. Okay, so what am I doing? So I'm fitting there, but over here on the side, I'm going to take my inlay piece, I'm going to flip it over backwards. And I'm going to hopefully not get this stuff everywhere. Did pick a piece that has some reversing grain in the middle, so there you go. That's what I get, right? think I've made it to my spot yet. Yeah, I'm afraid if I put it in there like that, that it's going to be too proud. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So now I have it in. All I need to do is close a little gap here. And I think what I can do with that is I've got just a little bit of material in here. I think it's just keeping me from getting right up to the binding. Go. There we are. Alright, all I need to do is glue it in. Sits flush. It'll be very pretty.